Hey teachers, today I'm going to give you 5 keys on how you can respond to dawdling or reluctant compliance. I know you've got kids in your class that when you give an instruction, it's like the world goes in slow motion. And they might get it done, but they definitely don't do it at a pace that you would like. And sometimes they don't do it at all. Welcome to the Karma Classrooms channel. I'm your host, Tarun Stevenson, where we are all about helping teachers establish and maintain positive behaviour in the classroom. You can catch us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or your favourite podcasting app. So make sure you subscribe and follow so that you don't miss any of our episodes. All right, here's the latest episode. Let's get into it. Okay, the first key to dealing with dawdling or reluctant responses to your instructions is this. You need to be on time and organized. If you don't take seriously time schedules, you can't expect your students to do the same. We all know that children learn by mimicking. And so they will watch the adults in their world and they will mimic or they will copy the behaviors of the adults. So if you are a teacher who tends to turn up late, who tends not to get things done in a timely fashion, who tends to be chaotic, who tends to be disorganized, what you are inadvertently doing is you are communicating to your students that you don't have to take seriously rules, instructions, and schedules. Because I can't get myself organized, so how can I expect you to be organized? So the first key is this: you've got to make sure that you are an organized person and that you stick to schedules and you stick to time frames. Get to class on time. Don't be late from the staff room. Get to your duties on time. And I know things come up, but as much as possible, you've got to model an importance of timely response and importance of urgency when an instruction is given, and you model it by the way that you behave and the way that you conduct yourself according to schedules. All right, the second thing is this. You've also got to prioritize the importance of listening to your students when they need to talk, and don't just be dismissive. So if you've got a student that really wants to engage or interact in the classroom, of course, manage the way that they talk. Don't let them call out. Don't let them just talk unnecessarily. But you need to give them opportunities to talk, and you need to pay attention to them and actually show them that what they are saying is important. I'll tell you why. Because if you don't value what they're saying, they will not value what you're saying. You see, good leadership, and that's what you are as a teacher, you're leading in the classroom. Good leadership is always about demonstrating a willingness to hear and listen to the people that you're trying to lead. In the classroom, you need to demonstrate a willingness to hear and listen to your students and show them that you care about what they care about. Why? Because you want the same from them. You want them to listen to you. You want them to give you attention when it's required. You want them to place value and importance on what you say. Well, the way you do that, again, is by modeling, by doing the same for them. So, of course, manage talking, manage conversation in the classroom so that it's appropriate, but always don't be dismissive. Don't shut conversation down if it, maybe is inconvenient for you. Find ways to give them an opportunity to talk. And also, don't be too quick to jump on kids who are doing something and dismiss what they're saying without hearing first. Maybe they did something in the class that you didn't approve of or you didn't like, but you don't know the full story. If they're trying to tell you their side of the story, be willing to step back and say, okay, I'll hear you, but then you need to hear me. If you want kids to listen, you've got to be a listener yourself. All right, that's number 2. Number 3, you need to give lead in time. This is especially important for boys. Boys very much get engrossed in what they're doing, and they don't ever grow out of this. I mean, this is a problem I have. My wife will be talking to me about something. I'm very engrossed in what she's saying, but if she changes topics, sometimes I don't change with her because I'm still thinking about the first topic we were talking about. Boys in your class are like that, and maybe some of the girls are too. You've got to give lead in time. If your you're changing tack. If you're changing activities, if you're changing routines, or if you're changing direction, you've got to let them know that it's coming up. Okay, 5 minutes, we're going to end this task, then I want you to pack up and we're going to get ready for the next task. Or in 2 minutes time, you need to be finished with what you're writing and we need to be moving on to our reading activity. Give them lead in time, because that will give them an ability to prepare themselves mentally and be ready to follow the instruction when you give it, rather than you just saying, okay, pens down, we're changing. Well, some of your kids won't be ready to change and they will become the reluctant or delayed compliance. They will become the kids that don't follow your instruction immediately. So that's number 3, give lead in time. Number 4 is this: you need to clearly establish your routines and your schedules in your class. Your kids need to know what's coming up in the day, what's coming up in your lesson, so that they can actually be mentally prepared for it. Surprise, surprise, what kids are thinking about is sometimes not the stuff you're thinking about. What kids care about is sometimes not the stuff you care about. And so if you want them to care, you've got to at least let them know what's coming up. And so have really clearly established routines and schedules so that it doesn't come as a shock, it doesn't come as a surprise, and they are going to be more willing to get on board in a quick and timely fashion. What is very helpful, especially again for boys and also for children with autism or ADHD, is to have visual cues for their schedule. So have some kind of timetable for the day that has very clearly up on the board every day. You know, session 1, this is what we're doing. Session 2, this is what we're doing. And so they can visually manage themselves throughout the day by looking at that visual calendar, and also you enforcing that routine for them. And number 5 is watch your pace. When my eldest son was only 5 years old, I picked him up from school one day and I was in a hurry to get somewhere. And I was getting a little bit agitated and a little bit grumpy because he was fumbling with the seatbelt. And I turned around to him and I said, "Will you please hurry up? We have to go." And his response was, "I'm trying, Dad, I'm trying." But as far as I was concerned, he wasn't trying hard enough. He was just mucking around. And my mum, who happened to be in the car, and injected a bit of wisdom into the situation and said, what you find easy, he is still learning how to do. Sometimes as teachers, there are things and activities that we find so easy because we've been doing it for so long. 1, because we're adults. But 2, because we've been teaching the same thing over and over again, we forget that for somebody learning it for the first time, it takes much, much longer. And sometimes we need to pace our lessons and we need to pace our instructions in such a way that we account for the deficit in learning. Don't expect them to move at your pace. Don't expect them to think of answers as quickly as you can think of answers. Don't expect them to respond in an activity as quickly as you can respond in an activity, because their delay may not be because they're refusing an instruction, but it may be that they don't quite grasp what you've said yet, or you are moving at a pace that's too fast for them. So manage the pace that you teach and you give instructions and that you expect responses, and understand that depending on the age and depending on the ability of the group that you're teaching, that they will have a different level of response to what you might be able to do. So that's our 5 keys for today. How to respond to dawdling or reluctant compliance with instructions is the first one. You need to be on time and organized. When you value schedules and you model the importance of timeliness for your class, they will follow it. Second one is be prepared to listen. Value the importance of what they say so that they will value the importance of what you say. Third thing is you need to give lead in time. Give warning before you change the activity or you change the instruction. Fourth thing is clearly establish routines and schedules. Maybe have a visual schedule so that they can reference it. And the last one is watch your pace. Remember that as an adult, as a teacher, you are way more experienced and way faster at most activities than your children are. So don't have unreasonable expectations of their ability to respond, because you may just disappoint yourself. I hope those 5 tips have been really helpful for you. I'm Tarun Stevenson for Karma Classrooms, and I look forward to talking to you again real soon. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you got a ton of value out of that. Don't forget to like, comment, and share with somebody who you think will benefit. We've got a range of online courses, workshops, and also bespoke training for schools and teachers. So if you'd like to find out more, click on the link karmaclassrooms.today and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and your favorite podcasting app. Until next time, I'm Tarun Stevenson for Karma Classrooms.